mic, but I thought I might lose it today. I would lose my voice. I'm rehearsing, so thank you so much for having me here. I'm just reminded when I heard all of you read the diaries of how profoundly the life of a teenage Jewish girl in the 1940s affected a young Sri Lankan Tamil girl growing up in Malaysia. I remember how profoundly her words affected me, even at that age. I realized we had so many things in common. So I thought I'll talk to you today about parallel lives, because I seem to, as I get older and hopefully acquire a little bit of wisdom, I'm more interested in what makes us human, what is the universal, rather than the specificity of my own life. Anne Frank taught me what it means to be an outsider, and that's what I think I profoundly feel now, that I've been an outsider all my life, a minority all my life. That I never had or belonged to the group of people who had power, because power doesn't necessarily always mean majority or minority. It's whoever has the power seems to dictate who oppresses whom. Anne Frank taught me that when you're an outsider, you become an eternal observer. Because one of the things I got from her diaries is that, and one of the things I realize now makes me the writer that I am, is that in whatever country I find myself living in, I tend to look for the things that are hidden, are forbidden, are embedded and buried in history. Because I think that's what happens when I'm asked to speak usually on the 1 month that they call the Black History Month. I agree to go only with the proviso that I say I'm not here to represent Black history, because I believe it's all of our history. So I'm really interested in that parallel lives. I would like to give you a little bit about my biography, so it just kind of speaks to the whole idea of Anne Frank and you. Born in Malaysia, of Sri Lankan Tamil, but we were from Ceylon, as it was in those days, and brought over by the British to build the railways in Malaya. So an accident of history made us those migrants. But I'm concerned also that when I was growing up, I had that multiplicity of identities that I think Anne Frank also talks about, because I think she understood that she was Jewish and came from that tradition, but also that whole idea of being European, and also affected by the politics of your country. So at the age of 6, I faced race riots in 1969 in Malaysia, May 13th. And I understand that your life as a child changes like that overnight. The comfort and all that wonderful romantic notion of childhood can change overnight. And that makes you two things, I think. It affects you for the rest of your life, but I also understand that that was the deepest lesson that Anne Frank taught us, to be a custodian of your people's stories, because that is what great literature and art does. You become the seer, you become the shaman, you become that person who understands in your DNA you have something that is a connective tissue with other people in your lives.